welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be filming my monthly reading wrap up for the month of December. I did not have a good reading month this month and I wasn't going to film this video because I literally only read 4 books this month and yeah, I don't know, I didn't really enjoy like 50% of the books that I read, so I wasn't going to film this, but I thought, you know what, let's just do it anyway, even if it's a short video, because I've done one every single month. Like, we can't just skip December. But I was in the worst reading slump this month, and also December's just a hectic month. Like, I didn't have the most like time to read, and these books took me a long time to read, and so I only ended up reading 4 books. And that's really annoying, but you know, it is what it is. I thought I'd just film this video anyway. Unfortunately, yeah, I was in the worst reading slump ever, so I finally think I've gotten out of it, hopefully, and hopefully I can read a lot more books in the month of January 2023. I can't believe this is the last month of the year. Like, where did the year go? That's literally insane. But let's just go ahead and get into all the books that I read in December. Okay, so I am refilming this part of the video, so if I look different, that is why, because my camera had a meltdown when I was filming this and didn't record the first part of the video. So I have the second half of the video, but I don't have me talking about the first 2 books, so I'm refilming it right now, so that's why I look different in the intro and in the next clips that you'll see. So let's talk about the first 2 books that I read this month. So the very first book that I read this month was Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. I was really excited to read this book. I read the Haunting and Hunting Adeline cat and mouse duet a couple of months ago, and I really enjoyed that one. I loved it, loved the writing, loved everything about it. And so I wanted to read Does It Hurt because you guys told me that I would love it and told me that it was really good, and I read it and I didn't love it. I gave it 2 stars, but I think that that's because I was in a reading slump. Like I said in the intro, I was in a massive reading slump this month. I only read 4 books and I couldn't get into it, but I loved the romance and I loved the relationship. I loved the relationship between Enzo and Sawyer. Like, I loved their romance. I loved them together. It's hardcore enemies to lovers, and like, I mean real enemies to lovers. Like, he hates her, she hates him. They're so attracted to each other, but they don't want to be attracted to one another, and they like try to fight it for as long as possible. So basically it's about Enzo and Sawyer, and they do not like each other, do not get along, but they end up getting stranded on this deserted island together and have to work together. It's forced proximity, obviously, to survive and try and get off the island. And it's kind of like a suspense romance as well. Like, there's some like dodgy shit happening on this island, some weird people and weird things going on, and they're working together to try and figure out what's happening and how to get off and survive, and all the while they're kind of hating each other but also can't help their chemistry, and you know, eventually they fall in love. But yeah, I gave it 2 stars because I love the romance, I love the relationship, but I was finding myself not wanting to pick it up, not wanting to read it, and I definitely think it was because I was in a reading slump. And if I wasn't in a reading slump, I feel like I would have enjoyed it a lot more, because when I was reading it, I was enjoying what I was reading, but I wasn't finding myself wanting to go pick up the book and wanting to start reading it, and which is really frustrating. But yeah, I did really enjoy the romance between them. But I only ended up giving it 2 stars, unfortunately. And then the next book that I read was The Flight Before Christmas. I decided to read a Christmassy book, and I've heard really good things about this one, so I wanted to read it. It's a full-length Christmas novel, and I enjoyed it. I gave it 3.75 stars, I believe. And yeah, it's a second chance romance, super Christmassy, super fun. But once again, I was still in that kind of reading slump, so this one did take me a while to read as well. I didn't find myself wanting to go pick it up, wanting to read it, but when I read it, I was enjoying it. And it's a bit of a slow burn. Like, it takes a hot minute for these characters to get together. Basically, it's about Whitney and Eli, and Whitney is not having a good time in life right now. She's kind of struggling. She didn't get the promotion in her job, and she's just like not enjoying her time. And so everything's kind of going wrong, and it's Christmas time. She's going to spend Christmas with her family, and Christmas is a really big thing in her family. They go like full out, and so she's like, okay, I'm gonna go up here and try and forget about all the bad stuff that's happening in my life and try to enjoy my time with my family. And then she gets there, and who is up there with her ex-boyfriend, the ex that she really kind of never got over, and the man who literally broke and shattered her soul. So this is a second chance romance. They were like in love in college, so it was like 17 years ago I believe, and he broke her heart, like shattered her heart, and so she doesn't want anything to do with him, doesn't even really want to talk to him, but he's there to try and win her back because he regrets everything that happened, like, and how it ended, and he's like changed a lot. Obviously it's been like 17 years, and so it's a second chance romance. The tension and the chemistry between these two characters was insane. Like she tried so hard to fight it, but it was, like I said, a bit of a slow burn. The Christmassy vibes were there. This is a very Christmassy book, and yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It was good. 3.75 stars. Like I said, still in a little bit of a reading slump, so I didn't enjoy it as much as I probably would have if I wasn't, but once I did get into the book, because like I said, it was a bit of a slow burn, but once things started happening, I was like finding myself really wanting to, you know, keep reading. But yeah, like I said, 3.75 stars, and that was the next book that I read this month. Gone Up by Fiona Cole. Just a very steamy, spicy, fun, quick, Christmassy novella. It's about Atlas and Amara, and Atlas sees Amara, very, very attracted to her, but Amara is kind of like, no thank you, men are trash, I don't want you. But obviously chemistry between them, things eventually do happen, like I said. Super quick, spicy read. Really fun, really enjoyed it, and I gave it 3 stars. And the last book that I read this month, and the book that I think has gotten me out of my reading slump, was The Do-Over by Lim Painter, her latest release, I believe. This is a YA novel. She's the author of Better Than the Movies, which is one of my favorite books. I love that book, and this definitely gave the same vibe. So if you love Better Than the Movies, I would definitely read this one, because it's YA and it was just super, super fun. I gave this 4 stars, I believe, because yeah, I liked Better Than the Movies a lot better, but still really enjoyed this one. So this is about Nick and Emily, and it is Valentine's Day, and Emily is determined to have the perfect Valentine's Day. She has a boyfriend, she has a gift for him, and she's so excited. And anyway, she gets to school, she's going about her day, and then she ends up seeing her boyfriend cheat on her with his ex-girlfriend. Obviously she's devastated. She goes home, she goes to her grandma's house, and she falls asleep, and then the next day she wakes up in her own bed at her house, and it's Valentine's Day again. And so she is forced to relive basically one of the worst days of her life over and over and over again, and she doesn't know why. So it's like she's stuck in a time loop, kind of like Groundhog Day vibes. But she ends up meeting Nick, who is her lab partner, and he doesn't really know she exists, or so she thinks. And anyway, she gets to spend all of these days with him. He obviously doesn't remember, but she gets to know him throughout her reliving her Valentine's Day over and over again, and eventually, you know, a connection builds, sparks fly, and they fall in love, and it's great, beautiful, stunning. I loved this book. It was such a fun YA moment, so cheesy and cute, and just like gave me butterflies, like it was just feel good. I loved it, and yeah, so I gave it 4 stars and flew through this book. I started it like 2 days ago, finished it yesterday, and it was amazing. I loved it. And it's also like, it's super short, so it's a quick fun read, and I really, really enjoyed this one. And that was the last book that I read this month. I hope you guys enjoyed this short little wrap up, and fingers crossed I can read a lot more in the month of January, because there are some exciting releases. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys!